10th, 2016. I'm your host, Alex Jones. This will be another extremely important global broadcast. We've got an earthquake out in California. We've got other huge developments geopolitically with the 2016 campaign, ISIS developments, and so much more. But I'm really seeing a trend of society unraveling and degenerating. And on top of that, you've got more and more financial systems that are basically electronic soup kitchens starting to degenerate. So I want to start this broadcast with another very special report that John Bound's done. Could food stamp riots start triggering within days?
The perfect storm is brewing. Obama's last stand as the Zelenskyite community organizer-in-chief has a finger on the trigger of mass unrest. When Obama took office in 2008, 28.2 million Americans were receiving welfare benefits. That number has grown to roughly 45 million under the only president in history to not see 1 year of 3% GDP growth.
And there's millions of others that are on state different food assistance programs. So it's 101 million. 101 million get food aid from federal government, outnumber full-time private sector workers. And that's a Department of Agriculture estimate that CNS News reported on. How's that sound? Boy, that sounds like land of the free, home of the brave to me. And all these people are being taught, a guy driving a nice car, somebody that has a nice house, they're rich and they stole it from you.
Earlier this year, it was widely reported that possibly up to 1 million of the country's poorest welfare recipients would lose their benefits under a welfare policy signed, sealed, and delivered by none other than Bill Clinton. The Fiscal Times reports those affected are people aged 18 to 49 who aren't disabled or raising minor children. Most of them live a subsistence existence, scraping by with the help of government and charitable organizations and low-income jobs, although college students are also eligible. The landmark 1996 bipartisan welfare reform law, crafted by a Republican Congress and signed by Democratic President Bill Clinton, limited benefits for this group to just 3 months in any 36-month period unless they were employed or in a work training program. Of course, that was pre-Obama phone Obamacare. Here we are 20 years later, and those chickens have come home to roost, as the government has reportedly neglected to pay the EBT benefits for 8 days. Michael Snyder of the Economic Blog reports, widespread reports continue to pour in from all over the nation of glitches with the food stamp system. It is 8 days into the month, and large numbers of people still have not received their benefits. And in other instances, it is being reported that EBT cards are simply not working correctly. Michael Snyder continues, on downdetector.com, there are scores of reports of problems with the EBT system from people all over the nation. Could this simply be another example of government incompetence, or is something else at work here? Many things are at work here. The cultural poison George Soros has unleashed on America via Black Lives Matter and MoveOn.org, along with the recently legalized propaganda spewed out by globalist-owned mainstream media, taking the side of anti-constitutionalists, fueling violent riots. The Obama administration, the Department of Justice, and the United Nations maneuvering of the Strong Cities Network, a real-time martial law initiative that needs a concrete reason to expand federal control over local police. Not to mention, roughly 11 million illegal immigrants were encouraged by the USDA to take advantage of the United States federal welfare system as the national debt approaches a hallmark of $20 trillion. Obama has overseen the exponential formation of a class of unemployed welfare recipients who expect to be taken care of, or else. It was reported during the Ferguson rioting that 2 new Black Panther members were planning a bombing of the famous St. Louis Gateway Arch and the murder of the prosecuting attorney in the Michael Brown case, along with the Ferguson police chief. The plan fell apart after one of the accused bombers' girlfriend's EBT card ran out of money. This isn't all happening by accident or by powers beyond Obama's control. Mass food riots are par for the course as a last-ditch effort to install martial law and place the United States under New World Order domination. John Bound for Infowars.com.
That's right, folks. This isn't a game. We have Tim Kennedy coming in. known as a UFC fighter, but really he's obviously worked in continental government and other areas in some of the most secretive Army units. He won't be getting into any of that, but he'll be talking about, with his expertise, the clear plan to destabilize this country and the world. We just aired in that first little segment that some stations don't carry a powerful report, food stamp riots within days, ? John Bound. We'll tweet that out right now at Real Alex Jones and post it to Facebook because it's so important. Peter Schiff has accurately predicted in the last year that gold would start going back up, and he has been proven correct. He will be joining us for 30 minutes at the start of the third hour. We have Rob Dew and our other reporters like Paul Joseph Watson and Josh Owens reporting from Dresden, Germany, where the super secret Bilderberg Group is being exposed right now. They have spent decades trying to keep their, close to 60 years, trying to keep their existence secret. That has now failed. And David Knight will be hosting the fourth hour with all the latest news that breaks then as well. And I will be in studio this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. I've been doing kind of a mixed Sunday show where I'm live part of it, but have a lot of taped special reports and then mixed it in with David Knight live in studio. But I'll be in studio, Lord willing, this Sunday for the full 2 hours, 4 to 6 p.m. Central as well. Don't forget InfoWars Nightly News, 7 o'clock Central. Let me do this because I don't want to get lost in the minutia. I don't want to miss the forest for the trees, as they say. Let me just state this very calmly up front. This is an unequivocal, incontrovertible, undisputed, absolute, admitted fact for anyone who is even halfway informed. Within science, within intelligentsia, within all known studies, it is absolutely prima facie, on its face, true, not debated. We are dying as a species. You could say that, well, we are growing in numbers, and generally that signifies the species is successful until it reaches carrying capacity and many times collapses. And in a lot of cases historically, with tens of thousands of species that have gone extinct, it triggers an extinction event. There is a planned extinction of humanity planned by the controllers of the planet. That is the world government project's end game. Now, I want that to sink in because I'm not making this up. We were the first people to tell you our government was running al-Qaeda. The first to tell you they were running the operation to overthrow Libya and Syria to install Wahhabists. The first to tell you what was really in Clinton's emails. The first to tell you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of huge, super secret things that no one else is able to break or understand. And it's because I've reverse engineered their operation. I am immersed in this 18 hours a day. I have a giant spectrum of top experts around the world. From the highest level of foreign governments to the highest level of the military to the highest level of academia. We have the intel. We know the plan. And anyone that just sits there and makes a joke out of this is tempting fate in a big way. But I'm not talking to the folks that are in arrested development mode and wouldn't know the truth if it ran over them like a Greyhound bus. I'm talking to people that are awake. And I just want to point out that you were correct. You were on target. You took a lot of ridicule. You got attacked. Because you had a basic instinct and a spirit that was pro-human, pro-justice, and your life force hasn't been basically sucked out of you. That's what it comes down to. And so I don't want to sit here and pat you on the back. really want to just metaphysically hug you. As we watch the desperate carnage in slow motion go on all around us, and just look you in the eye and say, it's good to know there's still some people that haven't succumbed to the great delusion. And I simply pray that as it gets more intense in the years to come, that I don't succumb. But I know I will succumb unless I count on the true spirit of the universe that created all matter, time, space, thought, light, dimensions. But that energy, that God, the true God, will not come into your life unless you ask it to. It's a free will. It gave you your free will. And when you choose to join God, you become a small expression of God in the world. You become an eye of God. You become God experiencing his creation at the lowest level to the highest level. But to be with God, you have to decide that you want to join with God. There's so much news here. It's all incredibly over the top. It proves everything we've been warning of. But at the end of the day, this is a spiritual war. This is a science fiction dystopia movie you're living in. The people running things are totally given over to the other spirit. And you're not going to sit there and ever change their minds about what they're doing at the highest levels. The top controllers know good and well what they're doing, and they've been promised in their own delusions and in the cosmology, the world system of thought they've created, that this is an ugly creation, that humans are bad, that humans are fallen, and that we need to be overwritten and gotten rid of, and that only by transcending humanity will they become gods. And that's the Illuminati religion, the false Illuminati religion, the counterfeit Illuminati religion that you know is the Illuminati. And you're saying, wait a minute, but God says we're fallen. So what do you mean the elites say we're fallen, have to be gotten rid of? They're the ones that follow the system, the paradigm that has made humanity fallen. They make us fall so that we don't take our birthright and can be interdimensionally incinerated, overwritten, destroyed. And they want us to buy into that and give up our free will and our birthright to populate the stars. Think about that. And they openly say we're ugly and bad and how great the world will be without humans and the great singularity of their God that's about to be born that they will merge with. We are in the hands of lunatics. They're the ones destroying the environment. They're the ones destroying the family. They're the ones creating every form of ugly, twisted abomination you can imagine while telling those of us resisting it that we are the plague. So when we come back, I will plow into the news. But later in this hour, and Tim Kennedy's coming in to talk about this as well, we're going to discuss the metrics that are there, document that humanity is quickly degenerating at a very fast pace, that it's being engineered, but that our acquiescence and acceptance of it is what is allowing us to be inducted into this. And that the minute we realize that and flip on the basic instincts that God's given us to resist, we will become stronger and actually triumph over it. And it will be the challenge against this dehumanization that will actually bring us to the next level of transcendence. The New World Order thinks humanity is going to fall. That it will be the New World Order allowed to test us that will force the true human